Arne is currently the frontrunner to become the new manager of Tottenham Hotspur, and in today's FM tactical replication we take a look at his 4-2-3-1 shape and tactical philosophies which has seen his young Feyenoord side lift only their second Eredivisie title this century. Slot has predominantly lined up in a 4-2-3-1, always wants to play attacking football with possession, building up using his goalkeeper to create overloads in the defensive third. The Dutchman has a preference on younger players who are hungry to work and learn. Slot believes his teams have to be intense because it essentially gives them two ways to win. If the quality of their play is lower than that of their opponents, or they're having an off day, they can win by outrunning, outworking whoever they are playing. The development of Turkish creator Orkun Koku, previously regarded as a talented but slightly insubstantial number 10. So in today's video we're going to set up this 4-2-3-1 and take a look at the role of Koku in particular and the positions he takes up on the field. So generally in build-up, Feyenoord like to use playmaker Koku with him dropping into a kind of a deeper, wide half-back position to create a numerical advantage and allowing the left full-back to push up. So this is the 4-2-3-1 that I have set up with Feyenoord. Feyenoord like to use playmaker Koku. So you'll often get these movements here. So the ball is played out from the goalkeeper and you'll often get movements like this that Hartman will push on and that now allows a little bit of space to Koku to come into. And that'll either do two things. Obviously, then you've got the inversion of the wing-back. It'll come into these areas, but that'll allow two things. It'll allow either Koku to get on the ball in these deeper areas, or if he is followed into these wide areas, it then creates a passing lane for Hanko to find players like Vifa, even Szymanski, the central attacking midfielder, even at some points into the number 9 directly. Okay, so I'm starting from the back. We've got Biljo, sweeper keeper on defend, no play instructions. We've got him as a sweeper keeper on defend, just so that he keeps his passing a lot shorter. And what we're trying to recreate with that is him passing out from the back. Very rarely goes long. We're going to try and play out from the back, fullbacks, even Koku at certain times, but we want him to be passing short as much as possible. Inverted wing-back on the right-hand side is Pedersen, no player instructions. Now we've got Geert Trude, who has kind of played sometimes at right back, sometimes at centre back. Generally, probably his best position is as a centre half. Player instruction on that is pass it shorter with the player role as a ball playing defender on defend. New signing Hanko for the season. We've got him as a ball playing defender on defend with the player instructions of pass it shorter and dribble more. He is up there in the top percentiles for dribbles made by defenders, so that's why we've got dribble more on. Hartman, just a wing back on support. Koku, I've decided to put him as a register. We can't really do a half-back because the half-back in FM23, if you put him as a half-back, they split the two centre-halves and he doesn't do that. Said if he does, he comes into there. So what we've got him as a register, kind of like a primary playmaker, that allows him to get up into these areas. He doesn't just sit back and hold like a half-back does. He wants to get forward, very good at dribbling, very good from finding cute and clever passes, sort of like little slip balls from outrunners from the inverted winger who's running from out to in, finding Jimenez, finding little late runs from Szymanski, so we want him involved a little bit more. So we're trying to recreate that part of it and also the build-up from the back. So to try and help it the best I possibly could, we've got dribble more on obviously because of his progressive carries, and we've also got stay wider on the hope that he'll just, in build-up, we're not going to get him to perfectly go in here. It just doesn't happen at most times, but he might just stagger it just a little bit. Can he draw a player out there into that little half, maybe a little half space position, potentially? So then Hanko can either carry through. As I said, if he isn't tracked, then he's going to find a little bit of space then to play, then he can carry the ball and progress the ball himself. Into the midfield, we've got Wifa, dribble more, shoot less often, and tackle harder. He's kind of a bit of a, not a midfield destroyer, but he has got good defensive numbers. Not the greatest in terms of attacking numbers, so I've put shoot less often on. I kind of sometimes find with that box-to-box midfielder, they do shoot a lot from outside the area. We're not going to get that from him. We've also got dribble more on because he's been fantastic this year and once again at progressing the ball. Feyenoord are the highest ranked side in the Eredivisie for dribbles this season, and him again, Wifa, is right up there in terms of numbers. Into the attacking four. Now this one is a difficult one once again because of FM and how it structurally works. I've had to kind of both players, Idrissi and Dillerson, and whoever else plays, we've got, we're not even going to pronounce that one, but you know who I mean. Both at times will play very wide, both at times will play very narrow. So what I've just done to give the side a little bit of balance, because we've got Pedersen on this side inverting, you generally want your wide player staying wide. So we've put him as an inverted winger on attack. A lot of his starting positions on this right-hand side do seem to be a little bit higher than the left-hand side. So I've put him on attack with the player instruction, stay wider. On the left-hand side, we've just got Idrissa with no other player instructions. And then Szymanski's a difficult one. I've kind of watched a lot of his clips on Y-Scout over the last couple of days, and he does do these late bursting runs, especially if Jimenez will then drop in to sort of like link play a little bit. He will then go on beyond. So we've got him as a shadow striker. I think you could probably even get away with attacking midfielder on attack. We've got a fair few player instructions in here. Close down more. Tremendous off the ball at closing down. So we've got tackle harder on as well to help with that press. Remember, we want to encourage that really aggressive press from Feyenoord. Mark tighter, because I really want him sticking on a DM. If there's any sort of like deep line playmakers in there, I want him to be right in there, stopping the ball going into that deep line midfielder. And the mark specific position, we've just got him marking any DM that is in there. And then up front, they do play two strikers, kind of a 50-50 split. So Jimenez, we've got a target forward. He's not great on the ball. A lot of the build-up play, he's quite sloppy in possession at times as well. He's not amazing in build-up, so I've asked him to take fewer risks. He is very basic in build-up. You know, ball comes into his feet. He sometimes takes a couple of touches to get out of his feet, and he just pops it off. Nothing too creative. We've got him as a target forward on attack. He's quite a well-rounded player, good finishing, not a bag full of pace or power. He's got decent stamina, good determination and work rate. You could probably put him even as a pressing forward. I just wanted him to maybe drop in at areas at times just to link play like he does. So that's why we've got him as a target forward on attack. We do want him attack because he does hit the penalty area, the penalty box really, really well. And then if they go down the other route of playing Danilo Pereira, I would probably just have him as an advanced forward. He's only 5'9", often comes off the bench. He scored a couple of goals at the weekend in their 3-1 win over MN. Okay, so they are the player instructions. Right, moving over to the mentality. Now, we've started positive for a lot of games, but what I would like you to do is just experiment with the attacking. We have lost a couple of games. The Roma game was a little bit flat. We were maybe just slightly outclassed with the quality of Belotti and Dybala. But we've also got this game in here where we lost against PSV Eindhoven. And look at that. And a lot of those shots came in the second half, as you could see, when we went to an attacking mentality. So I think the team maybe actually prefers to be attacking with it. And we've done it in the last game that we've just played. And we had a really good 3-1 win and absolutely dominated. So maybe my suggestion is see how you get on. In particular, if you're playing these sort of like these low-level sides in your division, you know, Eredivisie, they're going to be favourites for a lot of games, Feyenoord. Probably putting it on attacking straight from the off. Right, in possession, fairly wide. There's not an amazing amount of attacking width. You know, the two central midfield players stay quite narrow. Obviously, Cocu kind of drifts out to left at times, but generally stays nice and narrow. So we're just going to keep that on blank. Focus play through the middle. So we want it to go through the number 6 in terms of Cocu. We want to build play through there. Then once it's in there, can we fire a ball out wide before it then comes into the penalty area? Passing directness, we've got shorter with tempo higher. We're mixing crosses. We're not working the ball into the box as well. I think Feyenoord are ranking currently second in terms of crosses into the penalty area, so we've left that off. In transition, we've got counter press. Obviously, he wants a very aggressive press. Does help as well with that real, sometimes narrow play, narrow structure with maybe a wide player coming in, the number 10, the number 9, and the 6 and the 8. So it makes sense to counter press. There is not a massive thing on counter attacking when they win possession. We do it at times, depending on where we win it, especially if we're pressing high up here. We do transition really well, but generally when we counter-attacking in sort of like the defensive third, but when we do win it in sort of like defensive areas, there's not an over-reliance of getting the ball forward, as I said, especially when Jimenez is up there. He's not the quickest, so playing long balls into the chance for him, what they tend to do is recycle possession quickly, get their structure and play. Goalkeeper in possession, we've got distribute quickly, but to the centre-halves, and you could even click fullbacks on as well, just to give you a little bit of a variation. If there's a narrow, high press, distribute it out to the fullbacks would be a good idea. And obviously take short kicks to try and encourage that playing out from the back. Out of possession, we're going with a high press and a high defensive line. I know it's a bit FM23, but it is what Slot demands with his Feyenoord team. That's why he likes these young players, these players that are willing to run and work. So key for pressing structure. Trigger press more often. We want to encourage that and prevent short distribution. So that will hopefully encourage our midfielders, our wingers to push up nice and high, close down fullbacks as much as possible. Pressing trap inside. We want that ball to be coming to the middle where we've got that overload, where we've got those 3 players. So trying to force the play inside, then can we win it and then counter attack from there? Okay, that is all the team instruction. So those are the results quite far. We've had a really good start to the season. We had a bit of a disappointment against my beloved Go Ahead Eagles, but the game was 22 shots with an XG of 1.89. Actually, Feyenoord, in terms of expected points, are actually ranked 3rd at the moment. They've had a really good season in terms of overperforming their expected goals. So that maybe just gives you an insight in the type of goals they've been scoring. They've had some wonderful finishes from players like Idrissa over the last couple of weeks. But us, on the other hand, have been a little bit wasteful. Roma, as I said, they kind of dominated. PSV was an awkward one, a disappointing one. I thought we played actually really well. We should have scored, an XG of 1.64 to their 0.75. So this is one of my favourite goals that we actually score. So we get the ball down, we win it. Now here's Koku on the left-hand side, as I just said. A lot of the time in build-up, because it's FM, we can't get that half-back coming into that wider area. Maybe a deep-line playmaker on defend, but you wouldn't get what we get from Koku here. So he gets the ball down and we play, and then we've got this nice little triangle with the 3 in terms of Hartman, the left wing-back, Koku, the central midfielder, and then Idrissi, the left winger. We've got Pedersen here as well on screen, also inverting. That's the inverted wing back. It does help if there's a breakdown in possession, or he's there hopefully helping maybe win a second ball, closing down that number 7, their attacking player. So just watch the movement of Koku. So he finds some little spaces, look to work it. We move it quite well. We get the ball back, and look at this pass. Remember this pass that I talked about with the winger coming from out to in, and this is where we want the Regista, because he's got the freedom to roam a little bit more. There he is, a lovely slide pass, and there is Idrissi to score. Okay, so here's a little turnover in possession. We lose out, but we're in, we're surrounding, we're pressing, we get the ball back, and away we go. Just moving it. Koku now, the heartbeat of pretty much every look. If you're going to have a Regista, it needs to be a heartbeat of everything. I think it is a player that if Arne does go to Spurs, what a signing he would be, because they really need that creative spark in that middle of midfield. He's going to get into that little space now. Hartman keeps his width, and we're in. Idrissi's come inside this time, and then we've got the target forward who likes to come and show to feet, but what that does then is leave a little bit of space for Szymanski to move into. Lovely pick out. Szymanski's in and finishes superbly well. The game against Sparta Rotterdam, as you can see, 32 shots and goal. Like, these are teams we should be beating, but what we're doing is we're creating lots of big chances. XG of 3.82 as well in those 32 attempts, 9 on target. Okay, and here we go once again. We lose the ball. Koku gets it back, and then this is the role of the Regista. Nice little narrow position from Idrissi this time. A lovely little through ball from Koku, and Idrissi strikes. And away we go again. This is Hanko now striving forward, moving into midfield. Jimenez, the target forward, just come in. That's exactly what I want him to do. Just come and take it, ball to feet, just pop it off, create maybe a little bit of space. This time a centre half hasn't come with him, but what it has done is given us a nice 3v2 in the middle of midfield. In goes Weifer, and there we go, out to win. These inverted wingers, out to win run. And it's a really good finish from Dilrosun. We'll go with Dilrosun. And this is the reason why we want Koku as a Regista and not a halfback. If he was a halfback, he would probably be back here in that sort of position there. So we want him dominate. He's their most creative player in the team. So we want him in really good areas, and here he is, just ticking. Lovely cross. Vifa, the box-to-box midfielder, he does win his aerial duels, and there he's got himself a header. Alright guys, that is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Smash a like on today's video, muchly appreciated. By all means, let me know how it works down in the comments. Plug it in, let me know how will this work with its Spurs side. I'm a little bit undecided, especially if he wants to go down the 4-2-3 option at Spurs. That may be tricky with the defenders he has at his disposal at Spurs. Alright guys, thanks for watching, take care, see you later.